Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today we'll be actually replaying Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30 and verse 35. This is a class given by His Holiness Krishna KShetra Swami Maharaj. I'll just play it.
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira Manachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Dora Haribo. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavarinda ki, Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki, Grantaraja Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaura Premanande, all glories to the some devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. So we are very, very fortunate to have with us His Holiness KShetra Swami Maharaj. Maharaj in 1972 became the disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. From 1973 to 1975, he distributed Srila Prabhupada books and served also as a pujari in Amsterdam and Schloss Rittershof, Germany. In 1977 to 1979, he traveled and preached with His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj, Harikesh Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, and Dwarkesh Prabhu and Devamrit Swami Maharaj throughout Eastern Europe. 1982 to 1985, he oversaw Lord Narsingdev's worship in Simhachalam, Germany. In 1987, ISKCON GBC body appointed him as an initiating guru. Then up to 1995, he helped compile and publish Pancharatra Pradeep, an ISKCON's manual for temple worship. He also served as ISKCON's GBC as the Minister for Deity Worship until 2005. Amidst these years and other services, encouraged by senior ISKCON leaders, in 1995, KShetra Swami Maharaj resumed formal academic study, which he had interrupted in 1972. He completed BA in Religious Studies from University of California, an MA in Study of Religion, a Graduate Theologian Union from Berkeley, an MST, that is Master of Studies in the Study of Religion from University of Oxford, UK, and then a DPhil, a PhD from University of Oxford, UK, finishing his studies in 2003. Based on his doctoral dissertation, he then published Attending Krishna's Image, Chaitanya Vaishnava Murti Seva as Devotional Truth with Routledge Hindu Studies series. Maharaj is now a research fellow of the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. He also acts as the Dean of Studies at Bhaktivedanta College at Radhadesh, Belgium, where he has been teaching since 2002. As during several previous years and continuing after his sannyas vows in 2014, he travels extensively for teaching, counseling and supports spiritual communities in the Vaishnava devotional tradition. We are very fortunate to have him here. Let's welcome him by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Thank you. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttaparagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari, Gaura Bhaktavinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasa Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Everyone together. Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, the activities of the Prachetas, verse number 35. I have written here. Yatredyante katamrishtas. Yatredyante katamrishtas. Krishnaya prasamoyata. Krishnaya prasamoyata. Nirvairang yatra bhuteshu. Nirvairam yatra bhuteshu. Nodvego yatra kaschana. Nodvego yatra kaschana. Yatre yante katamrishtas. Krishnaya prasamo yataha. Nirvairam yatra bhuteshu. Nodvego yatra kaschana. Ladies? Yatra, where? Idyante are worshipped or discussed. Kata, words. Mrishta, pure. Trishnaya, of material hankerings. Prashama, satisfaction. Yata, by which. Nirvairam, non-envious. Yatra, where? Bhuteshu, among living entities. Na, not. Udvega, fear. Yatra, where? Kaschana, any. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. Nice verse. Shall we repeat it together? Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget. What do they forget? All kinds of material hankerings. For how long? At least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. That's good news. Purport. Vaikuntha means without anxiety, and the material world means full of anxiety. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Sada samudvigna diyam asatgrahat. Living entities who have accepted this material world as a residence are full of anxiety. A place immediately becomes Vaikuntha whenever the holy topics of the personality of Godhead are discussed by pure devotees. This is the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, chanting and hearing about the Supreme Lord Vishnu. As the Supreme Lord himself confirms, Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. My dear Narada, actually, I do not reside in my abode Vaikuntha. What? Nor do I reside within the hearts of the yogis. No. But I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name and discuss my form, pastimes, and qualities. Gayanti. Unquote. Because of the presence of the Lord in the form of the transcendental vibration, the Vaikuntha atmosphere is evoked. This atmosphere is without fear and anxiety. One living entity does not fear another. By hearing the holy names and the glories of the Lord, a person executes pious activities. Shinvadang swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana. Pridyantasto hyabadrani vidhunoti suritsatam. Thus, his material hankerings immediately stop. This Sankirtana movement, started by the Society for Krishna Consciousness, is meant for creating Vaikuntha. What is this society meant for? Now I lost my place. Too much Vaikuntha. Where was I? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yes, creating Vaikuntha, the transcendental world that is without anxiety, even in this material world. The method is the propagation of the Shravanam, Kirtanam process. Where? Throughout the world. In the material world, everyone is envious of his fellow man. Animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I think Pune Yatra is especially famous for responding in classes in this way. The Prachetas therefore decided to remain always in the society of devotees, and they considered that to be the highest benediction possible in human life. What did the Prachetas decide? Yes. And what did they consider this to be? Highest benediction possible in human life. Not bad. Mukam karoti vachalam angum langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande shigurum dinataranam. So I'm very happy to be here with all of you in this wonderful temple. I'm tempted to say it is like Vaikuntha, but I want to say it is Vaikuntha. But then again, this could be considered a problem, which we may consider later. Is this only Vaikuntha? Anyway, we will come to this. Okay, let's look at the verse briefly. Yatra idyante katam rishtas trishnaya prashamo yata. This prashama is interesting. It has a wide range of senses. It can mean cessation, not sensation. Cessation. You know this word, cessation? To stop something. And it comes from sham, which means, it can mean also to relieve. It can mean to pacify. Sham can also mean to kill. Sanskrit is like this. You think, how is that possible? But it means that from the sense of stopping. You can stop someone from living. So it can have to do with violence. But of course, this is not the sense in which it's meant here. Srila Prabhupada translates in his word for word as satisfaction. Satisfaction is available. It comes about as a result of what? As a result of Krishna Katha. But it also has this sense of relief of anxiety. And we find this already in the first canto. Sutta Goswami is speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya. How many sages were there in Naimisharanya? 60,000. Did Sutta Goswami have a microphone? No microphone. Very loud speaker or very good listeners or a combination of both. In any case, he communicated with them about Vyasadeva. And in the course of his discussion about Vyasadeva and how he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, Anartopashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje. Anartha upashamam, same word. Anarthas are upashama. They are removed, or there is cessation. They are stopped. Sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje. By direct service to adhokshaja, to the Lord, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sometimes referred to as adhokshaja. Lokasya ajanata, the people in general, being ignorant, vidvan chakre, responding to this situation, Vyasadeva compiled this Sattvata Samhitam, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So of course we are all fortunate that by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, all the acharyas previous, that we can also hear Srimad Bhagavatam and benefit, infinitely benefit from it. But I want to jump now to think about what Rupa Goswami tells us in his Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu. He tells us there are 6 qualities of pure devotional service. You know about this, right? What are these 6 qualities? Anyone know? Get that part of the brain awakened. Klesha Agni. Now you remember. Subhada. Moksha Lagura Krit. Sudurlava. Chandrananda. Visheshatma. Sri Krishna. Karshini. Akarshini. Chasa. We got it. This was a communal memory process. So the first of these is Klesha Gni. The subsiding, the stoppage of Klesha. Now I need some help. I was trying this morning to remember, what are the Kleshas? What are all the Kleshas? There's 6 of them, isn't it? According to Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Okay, help me out here, as I could only remember 3. Yes, as we get older, this happens. There's raga, there's dvesha, and the last one is abhinivesha. Any? Asmita? Oh, he's cheating. He's looking in his computer. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was judging before. See, this is a danger. You see someone do something and you immediately judge as something bad, but you may not understand properly. Okay. Well, asmita, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesh. That's 5. Wasn't there one more? Oh, it's 5. You're right. There's 5. Okay. Anyway, the point is that these are all kleshas. And what is a klesha? Klesha is a misery. And we could say, broadly speaking, all of these have to do with anxiety, isn't it? Anxieties are, you can say anxieties are, they can be very small anxieties, they can be very big anxieties. I was thinking also this morning, we might consider anxiety in relation to the ashramas. So, brahmacharis are, at least theoretically, carefree, right? Nothing to worry about. You are laughing? Oh, I know. It's because you have great anxiety in the morning whether someone stole your gamsha. But I think now the modern brahmachari has greater anxieties. Is my phone charged? Right? Grihastha ashram, anxieties skyrocket. Isn't it? Am I right? Grihasthas can tell me whether this is true. Why is this true? It's because responsibilities have increased. The responsibility of the householder is so much more than the responsibility of the other ashrams. And therefore, according to Manu, the first ashram, the most important ashram, is actually Grihastha ashram. So we who are not in the Grihastha ashram should not be proud. So the general point of the verse that's being made here is about speaking. It's about kata, and Prabhupada is translating the word kata as words. We know also the word kata can mean stories. So this evening, everyone is going to be blessed, and over several evenings, with His Holiness Lokanath Swami's Gora Kata. That will be wonderful indeed, I'm sure. I'm a little envious of those of you all who can follow Hindi, because he will be speaking in Hindi, isn't it? Yeah. Mujhe sirf thoda si Hindi aati hai. So words and kata. Now, one of the interesting themes or motifs in the Bhagavatam, which you can look for, you can be looking out for, is the power of words. Words can, we used to say when I was a small child in school, when someone would bully us, say something nasty, we had a mantra. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You don't have that? Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. This was our little defense against words of insult. But of course, actually, the words were very much hurting. Isn't it? So we could say, in a broad sense, that on the one side, as it's said here, words related to the Supreme Lord are creating Vaikuntha, and the opposite is also true. words which are not connected with Krishna, what we sometimes call prajalpa, they increase, they create anxiety. What better example of this is there than the mass media? Mass media's main function is to generate and perpetuate anxiety. They're doing a very good job of this nowadays in talking about this disease condition that sprung up in China. They're calling it a coronavirus. And of course, the devotees understand that, yes, this is what material life is, and what we're interested in getting infected with and spreading to others is the karuna virus. Right? But my point is here is that the media is spreading anxiety and perpetuating that anxiety. And why do they do that? It makes money. People, we want to be in anxiety, it seems. Tell us more about our miserable condition. Tell us more about the danger that we are in. Interesting aside about this virus is what they're not telling you in the news is that in America, Nityam Prabhu made this point in Mayapur a few days ago, that in America, routinely, several thousands are dying from ordinary flu. Like, I think he referred to an information, in a period of 4 or 5 months, 20,000 people in America had died from ordinary flu. So that's, that they're not telling us that. They're telling us, and what else is increasing the anxiety of this news? The anxiety is what's going to happen next. And so the general anxiety that everyone feels is the sense of uncertainty. And what is the greatest uncertainty? The greatest uncertainty is what is going to happen after this life. Is there going to be life after this life? Actually, in ancient Greece, there was one philosopher, Epicurus, who argued that there is no life after this life, and therefore there is no reason to have anxiety in this life, and in particular, there's no reason to have anxiety about death. Why? No anxiety. I'm in great anxiety if there's nothing after life. No, he said, there will be nothing. There will not be you to be in anxiety. There will be no you to think, oh, I lost my life. You won't exist. That was his philosophy, which developed into what became Epicureanism. And now the English word Epicurean means to enjoy this life in a tasteful way. That's Epicureanism. Yes, be tasteful. Be a connoisseur of sense enjoyment. That sounds good, but it doesn't really work. So we have two things. We have the situation of anxiety, and we have the situation of no anxiety. And Srila Prabhupada is saying something very interesting in his purport when he says, the Sankirtan movement started by the Society for Krishna Consciousness is meant for creating, and I'm underlining this word, creating Vaikuntha. Meant for creating Vaikuntha, the transcendental world that is without anxiety, even in this material world. So that's kind of a mission statement, isn't it? So this is something for us to think about as we think individually and collectively. What are we about? We're about creating freedom from anxiety. And what I want to suggest us to think further about in the context of that is, can we communicate to people as we call it, preaching, as we are connecting with people, as we are doing what we call outreach. I like to say, outreach is a very good thing, but until there is proper inreach, there's not going to be effective outreach. Of course, the inreach process, this is reading, hearing is very much essential part of that. So the question I want to raise is it possible for us, with this sense that we want to bring about, we want to help in creating Vaikuntha, is it possible that we are able to communicate a non-sectarian message? Or put it another way, could it be the case that as we go about our efforts, people perceive us in a way that we don't intend, namely as some sort of sectarian, there are so many missions, so many different religious organizations, institutions, and so on. Can we get away from that? Can we help people? Or are we stuck by even telling people we are non-sectarian? They say, you're very interesting people who are very sectarian who say that you are non-sectarian. You see what I'm saying? We have, I would suggest, a challenge. We have a challenge wherever we are in helping people to benefit from Krishna consciousness without being put into anxiety that by taking the benefit that we want to get across to them, that they are somehow getting drawn into something sectarian. This, I would suggest, is it's a challenge. The beginning of addressing the challenge, what would that beginning be? I would suggest it's to understand ourselves very clearly that we are not some sectarian thing, that we are simply giving a message of service to the Supreme Lord, however you may want to call him. As Prabhupada many times would say, there are hundreds and thousands of names of God. So like that, we can appreciate for ourselves. We have a message for the world, and we can understand for ourselves, yes, who is this Supreme Personality of Godhead? He is none other than Krishna. Krishna, this very intimate name of the Lord, is our favorite. And we can exist in a sense in two worlds. We are, Srila Prabhupada would say, we are in this world, but we are not of this world. He's actually quoting a Christian statement when he says that. You may be surprised to know. that expression comes from Christian tradition. Well, there are other points to be made here, but I want to stop here because I want to see if there's any response, any thoughts you have on this question that I am raising. And I want to keep well to the time schedule. I want to respect the time schedule. So I will stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Reflections, anything on this subject related to these points? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for the class, Maharaj. I never heard you speak before, and that was very inspiring. This point of being non-sectarian, but coming across potentially as sectarian, is something I think about frequently, especially on book distribution. Because what distinguishes myself as a book distributor from someone who's distributing Bibles at the same college that I'm at.
Right.
And upon introspecting on this point, what constantly comes to mind is, how am I behaving? Am I trying to give, or am I simply trying to get people to join what I'm doing? Or am I just simply trying to give the overflow of what I've received?
Yeah.
And I think that's really what distinguishes my idea of how I can come across as non-sectarian is whether you choose to become a full-time devotee or whether you choose to remain how you are, you can receive something from Prabhupada's words.
Yeah.
And I would consider what I'm doing a success. But to put that into practice, it really takes a lot of cultivation and introspection.
Yes, thank you. That's very nice. Nice point. Exactly. And it reminds me of a comment Srila Prabhupada made in Berkeley, California, at University of California, Berkeley, where I studied for some time. He was speaking to Indian students, and they were all technology students. And Prabhupada, as you know, could sometimes be rather blunt. And he said, "So, you have come here to learn technology. So that means you are beggar." And then he said, "But I," speaking of himself, he said, "but I am not a beggar. I am a giver." He was, making this contrast. And he spoke in a similar way on other occasions, especially when he was speaking with Indians. But yes, if we can just meditate, I am a giver. I am giving what I have received. And I like what you said, the overflow of what we have, we give. And people can take as much as they are able, is another point. As much as they are able, let them take. And if they if they cannot take anything but your sincere smile and well-wishing of them, that's fine, because maybe next time they will take something more. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. First of all, I thank you from my heart for giving such a wonderful presentation. So that you ask the reflection. So Prabhupada has built a house where everybody can live. So that's the main thing. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. That this entire, all the people, they belong to Krishna.
Yes.
Because Krishna is within the heart of every person. So, as you said, Prabhuji also said that we have to bring the person one step closer to Krishna. One step closer to appreciate good living. One step closer to live, closer to appreciate the saintly life, good food, good lifestyle by our interaction. Any person who is interacting with us, he should come one step closer. He may take lifetime, but
Yes.
we can't just push them.
Exactly.
Or whatever they want. And Prabhupada has given everything.
Yes.
The book, lifestyle, the food, the culture, where everybody can operate it.
Thank you. Also, very nice points. And it reminds me of something of the opposite. I always remember there was one brahmachari when I first joined the temple in Germany. He was a very sincere soul, very enthusiastic, maybe just a bit too enthusiastic, because when he was on the street distributing books, he would approach people, his method, he would approach people and he would speak to them from this close. He would say, "You should take this book right now." And they would go, "Yes, okay, I'm taking it." Hare Krishna. Speaking of books, I should end. So I've shared with the brahmacharis yesterday evening, but I do want to show you something of what I've been doing as my small attempt to serve Srila Prabhupada. I've written a book it's an academic publisher. It is called Cow Care in Hindu Animal Ethics. It's part of a series of books on what's called animal ethics. It's a topic which has been increasingly engaging intellectuals, and I was asked to write on Hinduism and animal ethics, therefore the word Hindu is included, much as I'd prefer not. But the book is what I wanted is, of course, we're very concerned to focus on Srila Prabhupada's book, so you may consider this as a supplement on this particular topic. I introduce Srila Prabhupada and I contrast him with other important figures in the cow protection movement. And I also introduce some of our ISKCON projects where we have cow protection. The point is that the book is available to any of you who can read English, and I think all of you can, because it's open access, which means it's open for free digital download. And if you're interested, I can give you the link to this where you can download it. Or you can just search the title of the book and you'll find Cow Care in Hindu Animal Ethics. You will not find my name, Krishna KShetra Swami. You'll find my given name, but don't worry, it's the same person. I wear two hats, you see. Okay, so I will say thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Premanande, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That was a wonderful class by His Holiness Krishna KShetra Swami Maharaj. A few points that struck me, I'll just call out them. Then we can ask, and I would like to hear from others. He talked about the responsibilities which bring more anxieties, and he was trying to say Grahastha gets maximum as confirmed by Manu. He talked about Katha, which is nothing but words, and the words can actually describe. In one way, it could describe and glorify Krishna, which could be Vaikuntha, and the same thing could otherwise be a Prajalpa. So he's talking about the media and how it happens. And he said the biggest anxiety is generally what's going to happen after this life. And there are different views. People say no life after death, and then so no anxiety. So that's one view, and they live in a different way. He covered a very important point, which I also read when the purport was being talked, when it was being read out. The purpose of ISKCON is creating Vaikunthas, the transcendental world, even in the material world. And that is something, something I thought I should just meditate on this, because actually we are here because we want freedom from anxiety, and the transcendental topics actually free us from this anxiety. Other point which really struck me very, very much was the in reach before you outreach, was something, very, very, I mean, it just really touched my heart. And he talked about, in terms of, we should see that, it can be help create a non-sectarian image for ISKCON. It's a big challenge. And he went on to talk about several things, and where we have to, the focus should be to serve the Supreme Lord, however you may want to call him, on whichever way, but knowing that Krishna is the most intimate name of the Lord. So I'll just stop here, and I would like to hear, I'd like to hear from others. I've just unmuted the lines.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Since you are sharing all other Maharajas' classes, we are able to hear. Otherwise, we will not Google, we will not hear, we will not know. There are so many Maharajas who are giving classes and enlightening the whole world. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And very nice points we have got, and we are very happy that, yes, as a Grahasthas with so much of anxieties, also we are Grahasthas are able to do little bit of services so that they can go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Mataji, all the credit should go to Sankarshan Prabhu for actually picking all these topics. He does it every day, very dedicatedly.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I found one important point, very useful for our preaching. So when we are preaching, we have to see the capability of a person who can receive that message. That Maharaj has highlighted that point. So we should understand the capability of the person who is receiving, and we should be moving on. So I think that's a very important point. That's what I think.
And you were trying to say we should not be pushy in some way,
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's also important. So we should inspire than actually pushing people. That's very important. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other reflections or comments? Okay, if not, tomorrow we'll be having our class from temple at 8:30. Thank you for actually joining today. We'll just end the class with the Vaishnava Pranam. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo Anantakoti Vaishnavanta ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Krishna KShetra Swami Maharaj ki jai. Nityam Gaur Siddhanta Hari Hari. Thank you for joining today.